Hello and welcome to a short series of videos on character creation. Now I was never going to do these, but people keep asking me to do them, so here you go. There's quite a lot of videos out and about on character creation already, but here's my version of it anyway. So what we have here is the player screen. We've joined a game. The Dungeon Master has shared certain information with us, and we are at session 0 and we're ready to make our first character. So the first thing we want to do is to click on the library button here. And if we look up at the top of the library button, there's a couple of sort of clickable options here. And one of these is Create PC. So if we click on that, you will notice that the buttons down the right hand side now have changed, and these are all the buttons that we are going to need for creating a player character. Before we leave the screen, we need some resources to use in creating our character, so we click on the Modules button, and this opens up the Data Module Activation screen. Now your screen will be different from mine because it will depend very much on what the Dungeon Master has shared. You may have a lot more, or you may have less, or you may have different books, whatever it is. But here the Dungeon Master in this case has shared the Player's Handbook and with the Xanathar's Guide to Everything with me. So I want to access these so that I can create my character, so we click on the Load button for the Player's Handbook and for Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And the books are now open, and therefore they are available for me to create my characters. So we can close this. We're done here now. We don't need the library either, and we can go straight to the PC button up here for characters. Click on that, and then on the green Add Item button. That screen will disappear, and up the top left hand corner we will have a portraitless character. We click on that and we will open the character sheet. Now there's an awful lot of information on characters in 5th edition, far too much to have it on one page. So you'll notice that down the right hand side here there are a number of tabs which take you into various parts of the sheet. The main tab being the first one, and then you've got skills, abilities, you've got your inventory, some notes, a log which is for Adventures League stuff, and you've got your Actions tab. But we're going to concentrate on the main tab, so make sure you've got the main tab selected, and we can now start to actually create a character. Now the order in which you do this, it's kind of up to you really, but this is the order that I would suggest, and it's not the order which is noted in the Player's Handbook. The first thing that I'm going to do is start with the abilities down the left hand column here. And we're going to create a Dwarven Cleric, so we are just going to simply take the standard array. We're going to click in each of these abilities, and we are going to edit them to the figures that we want. So we want 14 strength, we want our dex at 12, our con at 13, our intelligence we can leave that at 10, our wisdom, our most important stat, 15, and our dump stat, charisma, at 8. Now once you have entered these figures, you'll know that Fantasy Grounds, or you'll notice that Fantasy Grounds has started to change some of the other figures that you have scattered around this sheet here. We see, for example, that our armor class has gone up from 10 to 11 because we've got a +1 bonus on our dexterity. Our initiative is gone up to +1, again because of our dexterity, and we'll see also that things like strength has gone up to +2 and dex to +1. These are the saving throws down here, and these have all gone up to reflect the bonuses that we are getting from the abilities that we have just entered. You may also notice things like perception, etc. has also been added. So that's our abilities. Now the next thing I would suggest that you do is to add your race. So find the Races tab, or the Races button, and open it up. And here you'll see all the races which are available to you, and again this list will depend very much on what the Dungeon Master has shared. In this case we've only got the player's handbook to choose from, because that's the only things that we've got available to us in this particular case. So we're looking here for a dwarf, and if we click on dwarf, it'll open up the information about the dwarf. If we scroll down using the scroll bar, we can see all of the abilities and all the other things that our dwarf race will give us. And in the end here we've got sub-race, and if we click on that, we see that we have got two possible sub-races for our dwarf. We've got a hill dwarf or a mountain dwarf. You can do this in two ways. You can either drag in the dwarf, and in which case you'll get a pop-up asking you to choose between hill dwarf and mountain dwarf, or you can just simply decide, well, I'm going to be a hill dwarf or a mountain dwarf, and drag these in. And in this case we're looking for the hill dwarf, because the hill dwarf gives us a bonus to our wisdom. So we're just going to grab the hill dwarf and we're going to drop it into the race here. And what happens then is you can see that a whole bunch of stuff has been added into the character when we dragged in the race here. We can see, for example, that we've now got dark vision. We can see that our speed has gone up to 25. We can see also that our statistics have changed, because we've gotten a bonus to our wisdom because we're a hill dwarf, so that's gone from 15 to 16. And we can also see that our con has increased from 13 to 15 because we got a bonus of 2 points to our con because we are a dwarf. If we briefly go to our abilities tab, you'll see that all of these things have been added in. All the traits that we get as a dwarf has been added in, and the little icons here we can click on and we can open these up and get more information from them. So basically these are all just links back to the player's handbook from what you have dragged in. And you can also see that a couple of languages have dropped into the languages section of the abilities tab as well. Okay, the next thing that I suggest you add in is your character's background. And again, we find the button up here, click on that, and this will open up all the backgrounds that we have available. And again, these are just from the player's handbook because that's the only source that I've got open that contains backgrounds. You may have something different here. Now this is going to be a cleric, so the obvious choice is acolyte. So again, we are simply going to drag acolyte and we're going to drop it on the background section of the character sheet. And you can see again that in chat a whole bunch of stuff has been added. If we have a look at the skills tab, we will see that we now have two skills which have been highlighted, insight and religion, and these are the two skills that we get from that particular background. The skills have been highlighted. The star here has gone yellow. If we mouse over that, we see that that means that the character is proficient in these skills, and this is reflected in the extra totals, or the extra amount that we get in here. We are getting an extra 3 points because our wisdom score has got a bonus of 3, and we also get a proficiency bonus, so we are getting a +5 on any insight checks. And a similar things happen for religion, but since it's intelligence, we're not getting any bonus from that, we're just getting our proficiency bonus. But this means that these two skills are going to be better than most of the other ones that we have. Again, if we go to our abilities tab, you'll see that we've got some features here, this Shelter of the Faithful, and if we click on that just in the same way as the other ones, we will get a story telling us why we're getting this and what it means. And this is a feature of the background. And also in our background we get another 2 languages of our choice, and it just simply says 2 of our choice. So we just click on this and you can then edit the languages that you choose. Back to our main tab then, and we are now ready to add in our class. So again, we go to the buttons here on the right hand side, click on classes, and we can see in this instance that we have also now got some options from Xanathar's guide to everything, because we've got that open as well. So it's important that you decide which one you're actually wanting. And try and keep that consistent throughout your character's career. So we're going to take the one from the player's handbook, and again we're just simply going to take the cleric and we're going to drag and drop it over the top of the class and level selection. And our first choice now is to select some skills. So if we go to our skills tab, we see that we've already got insight and religion from our background. So we don't want to pick insight and religion again, because that doesn't give us anything. So we'll pick another two. In this case, let's go history and medicine. Once you've selected the two, you'll get this tick, which you can then click on to OK. And we now have a specialization. So clerics get their specialization at first level, and we see here, if we scroll down this list, we've actually got all the ones which are in the player's handbook, and also the Forge and the Grave domain. They come from Xanathar's guide. So both of those, so all of the particular archetypes that we can get for the cleric from all of the books that we have open will appear on this list. So let's just click on the war domain for fun, and again, once you've ticked the option, you'll get this OK box, and you can click that, and again a whole pile of stuff has been added into the character sheet. If we go back to the main tab, we can see now that we have got two saving throws which we're proficient with, wisdom and charisma. We can see also that we now have some hit points, because that's been added in for our class, and we have got the extra hit points as well because of our con, and we also have another extra hit point because of our dwarven resilience. So the cleric class gets 8 hit points at first level. But because we're a dwarf, and we've got, or because our con has got a +2, we get that, and also because we're a dwarf, we get an extra point because of dwarven resilience. So Fantasy Grounds has calculated all of that. We can see we've also got a hit dice in here, and if we go back to our abilities tab, we've got a whole bunch more things which have been added in. We've got bonus proficiencies, we've got our spell casting, our war domain, war priest. All these things have been added in, and again we can click on these to see what that all means and get all the information that we need to further create our character. So that is enough for this one video, so we're going to end here, and we'll carry on and look at something else in the next one. Cheers for now.